What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. Now, we did cash this 5.5x in the VIP this morning. We took Switzerland guys to go under, so both these guys to go under together, and then we took Laurel in Dota 2 to go under as well, and this does cash for a 5.5x. Had a number of close misses yesterday too, right? Like this guy misses by like 3 kills. Danilo, he misses by like 10 passes, so I guess that wasn't really that close. And then we did have some opposite correlation, which I will get into, and then I also kind of want to talk about the past 3 weeks of the World Cup. So, and there's only been 2 weeks of the World Cup pretty much, but the first week we were looking to build up to the World Cup, right? It was like the week before the World Cup, and then we had week 1 of the World Cup. Absolutely, and I'll get into it, right? I'll kind of get into the timeline of how we've done so far. And again, we're about to go into these knockout stages in the next couple of days. And then today we have like 6 games. Tomorrow we have 6 games, and I think even on Saturday we have 6 games. So a ton of games, a ton of volume today. I love the matchups today. Something that's unfortunate is some of these teams are sitting their starters. I believe USA sitting their starters. I do have my USA jersey on. So hopefully we do win, because I'm always going to go for USA. But anyway, guys, you'll see Switzerland, we took the unders. South Africa, we took the unders as well down here. And you will see that South Africa, for example, only possesses the ball 31% of the time versus South Korea. Now, South Africa wins, which was crazy, but it doesn't matter if you win or lose, guys. All that matters is possession, right? 31% possession. Switzerland possesses the ball 55% of the time. Now, you might be saying, well, Switzerland possesses the ball 55% of the time. Why in the world would they go under then? But it's because Switzerland was probably favored, or they were favored to have like 60, 62, 63% possession in this game. So 55% possession was actually kind of an underperformance by Switzerland. Now, you'll see that Switzerland wins, so they don't care. You know, they want to win. That's all that matters. But we care about possession, right? The more possession they have, the more passes. The less possession, the less passes, okay? This was South Africa here. This Brazil game, I'll kind of get into that, but I do also want to say, look at the opposite correlation, right? You have Qatar versus Bosnia, and you have Morocco versus Haiti, okay? And again, looking at these games real quick, Qatar, 45% possession. So just what I said about Switzerland, where they were really favored to maybe have like 62% possession. Not favored, but like they were predicted to have that by the sports books, I would say. And then Qatar was probably predicted to have about, I would say like 35% possession, but they actually overperformed possession-wise and have 45% possession. Now again, they lose the game 3-1, so they don't care. Really, they lost, which sucks for them, but the possession, they actually kind of did do decent. Qatar did, and that is why the overs did hit, right? So both of these guys go over together because they do have a decent amount of possession, right? And then same thing with Morocco, and this one was pretty close. Yesterday's play of the day was right here. This guy DMPs, so it would have been interesting to see what this guy would have done, but Hakimi does miss by like 3 passes, right? So it was close. They really possessed the ball most of the first half, and then the second half they didn't really possess. And I'm thinking it was just because they were leading in the game, so they didn't really have to. But again, we do have a setup with some close misses, guys. It kind of is what it is, right? This is a very typical day. Just like yesterday, we did cash a 4-man here, and then it kind of paid for all these losses. This one didn't necessarily pay for all these losses, so we did maybe go down a unit, 2 units, 3 units, whatever it is. But again, we're going to have days like this, and I'm telling you guys, we're going to have a breakthrough moment where we go and we hit like a 15, 20, 25 unit day, right? So I did kind of want to talk about the first 3 weeks so far of the World Cup. And the first week was pre-World Cup, all right? So I'm going to say like pre-World Cup. And then this was week 1, and then this was week 2. Real quick, shout out to this guy because he sent this on Instagram to me. I'm sorry, this drawing is above but this guy just cashed for $600 with my plays, right? So with some of my plays, right? He actually took the Vinny discount and then took some of his own plays, which I did take Vinny shots, but it looks like he took shots on target and goals, which is great. But he cashed $25 to $600, again, with the Switzerland guys and then with the Dota play that I just showed you. So congratulations to that guy. That is absolutely insane. And I want to show you guys pretty much what has been happening, or not what has been happening, but the 3 stages of the World Cup that we've been in so far, right? And we're about to go into like week 3. We're pretty much like right here into week 2, right? I don't think the full week 2 is really finished yet. But pre-World Cup, what we were doing is we were pretty much getting a lot of setups, right? So a lot of the plays I would take on like Saturday or Sunday, and I was waiting for the games to happen on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday when the World Cup was going to start. So before the World Cup started, we went down a little bit, right? We kind of went down a little bit, and we were waiting for these games to start. okay? And then week 1, we absolutely smashed through it, right? I'm sure it looked kind of like this or whatever, but we absolutely smashed through it, and we actually hit all-time highs ever on the VIP, right? And it's amazing to see. And then week 2, we have just gone a very flat line, right? It's just been up and down, up and down, up and down. We might be just, we're a little bit off of all-time highs, but it's been a very flat up and down type of week, right? So the graph, even though it's really messy, it looks something like this, right? And I'll say, we are ending probably like maybe here-ish, okay? Something like that, all right? So again, just to show you guys the weeks of difference that can happen, right? So 1 week means nothing, right? Because again, you could have a week where you go down because I'm trying to set things up, or maybe we just lose and we get unlucky. And then we have a week where we crush it and we go all-time highs. And then week 2, again, we had some good calls, we had some bad calls, we had some days where we hit 1.9x and it paid for all the losses and then some. We had some days like yesterday, same thing. We had like 1.3 man, and then the rest of them lose. And then we had some days where we went down units, and then we had some days we went up units, right? So we either had days where we had like one hit where it was like down, 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 and then we had one hit, or we had days where we had like Monday we go down, Tuesday we go up, Wednesday we go down, Thursday. So, just like this, right? It's been very flat line. So again, I recommend you guys track it because that's the best way to understand our performance of things. You will see I track absolutely everything on this channel. I haven't updated this in like 2 to 3 days, but again, you'll see on the year, guys, very profitable, better profitable, sleeper profitable. Overall, in the past 2.5 years, guys, we're up literally 1,000 units. I have 1,000 videos on this channel, and every day I go over the same type of stuff. And the main thing that I do, guys, is correlation. And what correlation is what I just explained earlier in the video, where I take guys to go over together, under together, and we can do the same thing in football. We can do the same thing in soccer. We can do the same thing in esports as well. So you'll see here, this is actually a football play happening in Canadian football tonight. So cross our fingers that Zach Caldrados can go over, and then he can pass to Nick Dimsky a little bit here. And it's very simple, guys. If the quarterback passes a lot, let's say he has like 40 passes, then he'll have a lot of yards. And if he has 40 passes, he might throw to his number, I think he's like the number 2 receiver, quite a lot, right? And this guy might get like, 4, 5, 6 catches, right? Another way to think about this is if this guy gets like, 8 catches tonight, then he might get, 200 yards, and this guy's going to have 200 of those yards from just one player, of course, okay? Now, the last thing I do want to talk about before I get into the video, I'm sorry that, but I do have some things that I do kind of want to go over, is I had a really good comment yesterday, and again, I love when you guys comment, right? Whether it's positive, negative, you want to have a little friction, whatever it is, guys. I love it because it means that you're thinking about things and you're actually applying a lot of my strategies to these to your own betting, right? Which is great. But the comment was like, hey, you took Luis Diaz under, and it makes you seem like maybe you don't know what you're doing, which is fair because Luis Diaz is a great player, and we did take his under, and the under did not hit. And again, I have no shame showing you guys when things do not hit. I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys that I am going to make the right calls every day. That's just not something that you can ever do in sports betting. But I do want to say that Luis Diaz, he's a great player. He plays for Bayern Munich. Yes, we should have took the overs, right? I would have loved to take the overs in this game. We could have hit the play. I would have loved to take the unders in this play, though, and it would have hit, right? Now, with Luis Diaz, he's a great player. He plays for Bayern Munich, one of the best clubs. Vitinha, for example, plays for PSG, one of the best clubs. They just won the Champions League. Vitinha is maybe the best midfielder right now in the world, and he went under. So you can't necessarily just be like, just because this guy is really good, just because this guy had a good game, means that we should never take the unders on him, right? It's going to be the same thing when we get to football season. I'm sure there's going to be weeks where we take Patrick Mahomes under, 300 yards or whatever his line's going to be, and maybe he proves me wrong and gets 500 yards. But again, you can't just a blanket statement say, just because it's Mahomes, we're never going to take him under. Just because it's Josh Allen, we're never going to take him under. You're going to see me a lot in the football season take players like Josh Allen when they play the Jets or when they play like a really crappy team. You're going to see me take him under all the time. Why? Because Josh Allen doesn't have to do very much against the Jets to win, okay? And I'm going to get into that when we get into the football season in September and October. But when he plays teams like the Jets or the teams like the Titans or something like that, he's not going to have to do very much to win the game. So he might only throw 200 yards and the Bills could win by 30. Does that mean that Josh Allen underperformed? No, it means he won the game by 30, which is what his job is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to get a ton ton of passing yards, right? So just by taking guys over under pass attempts, guys, it doesn't mean that I think the player's bad or anything, or that the player's going to do really well. For example, we took Jude Bellingham to go under. He goes well under. The day before that, we took Lionel Messi, literally the GOAT, okay? Definitive GOAT. I don't care what you say. Definitive GOAT of soccer. He went under also. So you can take some of these GOAT players, take them under, and they'll hit under, right? Does it mean that Leo is bad? No, of course. He has 5 goals in 2 games. So I do want to say that. I also want to say, if you guys have an intuition or your research is pointing, you know, I take the unders and you guys want to take the overs, be my guest. As long as it's correlated, that is on the strategy, okay? Now, I recommend that you take my plays because we have a really good track record, and I recommend you don't stray from what I'm doing. But if you do think you're a intermediate advanced better, and you do think, like, for example, for this play here, I'm going to take the unders for the Sweden guys. If you have some, you know, in your mind, you're like, man, I think Sweden's going to actually possess the ball 75% of the game because of all these things, then do it. Take the overs if you really want to, right? But again, these are correlated together, and these are correlated together because these guys are on the same team, okay? So as long as you're taking the overs or the unders together, I'm honestly fine with it. But this play, I do really like the unders, all right? So I highly recommend you take the unders, all right? First of all, they're playing Japan, a very good possession team. Japan also is going to be trying to win this game. This is a very tight division. This is Sweden, Japan, Netherlands, and I forgot the other team, but it's a really tight division right now. Any team can really take the front. Japan could also take the front here, so Japan's going to be trying very hard. They're going to be playing a lot of possession. Today's a weird game because you have some teams like Germany, USA that don't really care about the game. They're pretty much going to be first place. And then you have Sweden, Japan that kind of are fighting for their lives or fighting for like the first seed, right? So you have this player right here, which is Isaac Hin, and then you have this play right here, which is Gudmundsson, I believe is how you say his name, and they are on Sweden, and they are going to be playing on the same team, passing to each other, okay? And this is something that I want to show you guys, something that I found, and it's on sofascore.com, which is what I always talk about the site, guys. SofaScore. I am not sponsored by them. I'd love to be sponsored by them. If someone out there watching this video is a member or a worker at SofaScore, love to be sponsored by you guys. I don't even know how you guys make money, but yeah, anyway. We have obviously the formation, which is what I just showed you guys, right? So we're betting on this guy and this guy to go under. Now, with that being said, this guy also gets taken out of the game quite a lot because he plays this winger role. And I love betting on these wingers to go under because they are not very involved in the game, okay? But what I want to show you guys is if you scroll down, this is money right here. And I just found this the other day, but players' average positions on the field right here, okay? And again, you guys know I don't hide anything from you. I want you guys to win long-term. That's my number one goal in this channel. But you will see what's interesting is that this guy, Gudmundsson, he actually kind of drops back a little bit when he is in defense. You'll see that his heat map here, he's playing a lot here. So a lot of these teams, what they do is they'll play people up here, and then when they're on defense, they will actually have these guys drop back into defense. So these guys will actually be dropping back like this when they do not have the ball, okay? So it's a very interesting thing, and you'll see that this guy is pretty much going to play all the way over here when his team is on defense, and he is just going to be isolated over here on this side of the screen pretty much the entire time. Now, this guy, again, he's going to be isolated. That's why I like his under, and he is also playing with this guy. Now, this guy, I'll be honest, is not going to be isolated. This guy's a huge part of the team, a huge part of the defense, but his line is just simply too high, and that's the thing here. This guy plays right here, right? He plays pretty much right here the entire game. He sits right here on offense, on defense. You'll see that I'm sure he comes up here when corners are happening or whatever, but most of the game he is right here, and then this guy is hugging the left side of the screen, and you will see that these guys are passing to each other probably quite a lot. Now, are they directly passing to each other? Maybe not, but how soccer works, guys, it's not, about that. It's about, 4 might pass to 3, and then 3 might pass to 5, or 4 might pass to 16, then he'll pass to 5, and then they'll kind of make these little triangles, right, of passing back and forth to each other if they do have a lot of possession. Now, if they don't have a lot of possession, which I'm thinking that they do not versus Japan, then they will not have that many passes, okay? Now, adding on to that, right, if we go down to the Sweden guys and we talk about this guy, these 2 guys, which is who we took, right, this guy and this guy, these 2 guys right here. The other guy that we could potentially bet on is right here, okay? It's Yazin Niari, or Ayari, right? And I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But the reason why I'm not taking him under is if you look at his player heat map. He is right in the middle of everything, okay? So this scares me. This is why I would never take someone like this guy, especially when his line is only 28.5. I would never take him under because he is right involved in everything, right? He comes back on defense, so he might be getting some passes from the defense. He comes up in attack, so he might be getting some attacks on the defense. It looks like he's even the guy who takes the corners and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that counts as passes even. So he is constantly attacking, and he's constantly right in the middle of absolutely everything on the field. Like him and 16 right here are right smack dab in the middle of the field, constantly passing the ball, it looks like, okay? So this is something to add to your arsenal, guys. You can see the player's average position on these teams. And again, I like this because this guy is really, really far away from his team, right? He is on the other side of the field, kind of tucked away. Not saying that this guy doesn't do a lot for his team, but you'll just see that his role is really playing wide, wide, wide. This guy's role is very centralized, but his line is very high, okay? Now, this being said, all we need to happen is Sweden to not possess the ball very much. So if they don't possess the ball very much and Japan actually does win in possession, which is what I'm thinking they'll do, these guys should go under together, right? And as they go under together, they will hit under together. And we just need one thing to happen for a two-man pretty much to hit here. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go over PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, and I'm going to tell you guys to take his over fantasy score. I mean, I don't really have to say anything, guys. You'll see he's super, super hot. One thing you want to look for in these fantasy scores is the player being hot and the team being hot. And the Cubs are hot right now. You'll see they have won pretty much every game in the last 10 games. And the times that they are winning, when they win, or the last 10 games, 10 runs against the Mets, 10 runs against the Mets, 9 runs against the Mets, okay? Now they're facing the Mets again. If you look at his head-to-head, every single game that he's played against the Mets over the last 4 games, he has hit over, and baseball is very streaky, okay? So these teams are streaky, and the players are streaky. If you look at head-to-head, you'll see that he went on a bad streak against the Mets, and now he's on a really good streak against the Mets. If you look over his past 20 games, he has honestly not really had that many streaks. He's just really just hit this line a lot, but he's facing the Mets. Cubs have been extremely streaky, like in a good way. And Pete Crow Armstrong has also been on a very hot streak as well, okay? So these 3 factors alone, you want the team to be doing well because the team, even though baseball is a very individual sport, but the more runners on base, the more team members around him that are getting hits, getting on base, the better that the fantasy score is going to look for Pete Crow Armstrong because he can get RBIs, and just generally it's going to put these pitchers in a very precarious situation when they have like 2 batters on bases, right? Because that's when they're going to start making mistakes, okay? So this is the play of the day, guys. I love these hitter fantasy score lines, and then the Sweden guys under. There's no better discounts today, which is interesting. Normally I give out better discounts. This is the first day I've not seen any better discounts in probably like 100 plus days or something. But yeah, guys, you can sign up for better. You can sign up for Kalshi. This is the month of June. June is like 6 days left in June. Text me Kalshi to get signed up for Kalshi for the month of June promo, which is 2 months free of the VIP. Only going to be doing this in the month of June. You guys can also sign up for NOVIG, and you guys can get a free $50 with just a $5 deposit. All you have to do is deposit $1 to get into the VIP free. And Sleeper is another app to sign up for. ONYX odds, I believe they're doing a $200 spend 10, get $200 in free picks. So racking up what I just said in the last 30 seconds, you guys could make like $1,000 if you sign up for ONYX, sign up for Better, sign up for Sleeper, sign up for Kalshi, like all these apps. And on top of that, you will get 6 months free of the VIP if you do everything. If you are going to do that or sign up for any of these apps, text me. My number's right here. Don't be scared to text me, guys. My job is to get you guys in the VIP and get you guys cashing like we do every single month. All right. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.